Hello, and welcome to Griffon Update. I'm Micah Cummins.
And I'm Brent Rosenauer. Griffon Update is our student-produced digital magazine show bringing you news, sports, and information from Missouri Western State University and the surrounding region.
During each program, we will present an in-depth look at the people, places, and events that make Missouri Western and the Northwest region of Missouri a great place to call home.
On today's show, we'll find out where the best locations to study are, both on and off campus.
We'll also take a look at a fraternity that is putting ALS on the run and take a peek behind the curtain of the theater production Godspell.
But first, do you ever worry about your safety while you're on campus? Well, rest easy, because the campus police department is on patrol.
Reporter Brendan Welch talked to Western's chief of police to find out what the department is doing to ensure campus security.
The Missouri Western Police Department is tasked with protecting our campus's students. And after a year of retires and new hires, the department is in full effect.
We currently have 8 officers and 2 corporals on my staff, so that is considered full staff.
These officers are based on the second floor of Blum Union, where they leave on daily and nightly patrols throughout the campus grounds with a standard of at least 3 officers on duty at any given time. And the chief isn't done improving Western security.
I'll have more officers in the afternoons and evenings working, and some of that because we're full staffed finally. And we can start doing some programming and kind of do some more reaching out to our students.
Aside from new personnel, older security measures are still available for students in need. This is an emergency response beacon. They can be found all over campus, and if you ever find yourself in danger or in need of assistance, you simply walk up, press a button, and you'll be directly connected to the campus police department.
Missouri Western Police Department.
10 emergency beacons can be found on campus. They are located near the residence halls, in the center of campus, and in most of the parking lots. While the beacons are for emergencies only, they can be used for assistance on multiple situations. Just tell the dispatcher what you need.
You would then say, there's a suspicious person here, there's somebody following me, I don't feel safe, a multitude of whatever. It could be a medical emergency.
Annual Clery Law reports show that Missouri Western is one of the safer campuses to be on, and the police department releases that information online annually. You can check these crime reports by simply logging on to missouriwestern.edu/safety report, where you'll find that violent crimes are rare on campus, and the most violated laws relate to drinking. Chief Meyer says our officers want to get along with the student body, but they need to be respected.
We do have rules we have to enforce, and so whenever an officer comes up and is asking you questions, of course you don't have to answer those, but ideally, a little cooperation can send you on your way a heck of a lot quicker.
For Griffon Update, I'm Brendan Welch.
Be sure to make a note of where all 10 emergency beacons are located across campus in case you ever find yourself in a situation where you feel unsafe.
All right, so let's talk about something a little bit more upbeat, like studying for exams.
That's not that upbeat, Brent.
I know, but the spring semester is coming to an end, and that means students are hitting the books harder than ever. Here's reporter Tommy Marshall with a look at some of the different places that students go to get work done.
The library. Whenever you've got study needs, there's no better place to go than right here on campus. From books to journals to just an all-around quiet atmosphere, the library provides a space to find solitude and get to work. Located right by the campus entrance, the library is a 2-floor powerhouse of reading materials, computer labs, and areas to study. The library is available to all students and has a multitude of study rooms ready whenever you really want to concentrate. For Missouri Western student Stephanie Ferguson, it's the top of the line.
I think the library is a really appealing place to study because you are able to study in peace and quiet, and there's a coffee shop downstairs to meet all of your dietary needs. And it has a lot of resources, there's a lot of computers to use, and it's all it's free and you don't need internet passwords, and it's just really accessible and convenient. Convenience is key.
While the library is the biggest place on campus to start a study session, there are also several other areas to get to work. The many office areas around campus, like the Griffon yearbook, give staff and students a closed-off environment to focus hard on the task at hand. In these offices, they can utilize the computers in large but contained areas to work on homework or study when they are not doing staff work. They contain many of the resources in the normal Mac labs, but with fewer distractions. Offices like the yearbook, the Griffon News, and the communications office are only available to staff, unfortunately, which gives you all the more incentive to join one and become a part.
I like studying here because it feels like my own workspace, and I feel like I'm in a area where I can concentrate, except for when Justin's in here, because he keeps talking to me all the time. But you can play your music. It's really relaxed. I don't feel like stressed as much, I guess, when I'm in here.
If you don't feel like studying on campus, you can always find a spot around town, such as Starbucks. While Starbucks has many of the pros, like a good atmosphere and a more closed-off area, they also offer many things that campus areas don't. Starbucks not only has a large menu of different coffees, assorted drinks, and delicious food, but they offer free Wi-Fi to their patrons, as well as a more creative atmosphere with many decorations.
Well, I like it because there's a lot of white noise, obviously, you can tell. So it's not like a lot of distractions whenever I go. Like when I try to study at home, my roommates distract me a lot because they talk and they talk to me. And so here it's just calming. It feels calm, the colors are calm, it smells good, like coffee, I buy coffee. It's just nice.
So with finals and projects due just around the corner, you better find a spot that suits you and get to work. I'm Tommy Marshall, reporting.
If you can't find a good place to study, remember that the campus library is open until 11 p.m. most nights.
Hey, Brent, would you ever run a 5K?
Well, a 5K, I don't know, not without a good reason.
Well, how's this for a reason? Missouri Western's Phi Delta Theta fraternity hosted a 5K to raise money for awareness for Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS. Reporter Jasmine Taylor was on the scene to get more information on the event.
Charge it all the time. I literally can. No, you can't. I literally can.
Hey everybody, before we get started, can we get a round of applause for Mr. Jacob Robertson?
Missouri Western's Phi Delta Theta fraternity hosted a 5K walk and run to raise money and awareness for Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS. The fraternity spent 2 to 3 months preparing for the event and worked with the ALS Association during the process.
It's Lou Gehrig disease, and it's our national philanthropy after Fidel Lou Gehrig. He's a baseball Hall of Famer. He was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease and died from it. Basically what it is it's a disease that affects your brain and spinal cord, and it basically shuts down your motor neurons. And the first things that go are your voluntary processes like walking, moving your hands, stuff like that. And then later, as the disease progresses, it starts to affect your involuntary as far as breathing, just your normal bodily functions. That's how you end up dying. But the ALS Association, they're just trying to find a cure. There's really no known cure right now. There's only been one scientific breakthrough. It was in 1995, and it's been proven to slow down the effects of Lou Gehrig's disease. But there's no cure, so we're just trying to raise money. They're trying to raise awareness and to help fight this disease.
The race had a great turnout with over 50 students and community members who signed up to support the cause.
I'm training for a half marathon right now, so this is like my first training race I'm doing. It's good for students and community members to get involved because it creates that sense of community both around the college and in the surrounding areas.
The fraternity raised $1,600 in sponsorships and are hoping to give back $2,000 to the ALS Association.
We're happy to be doing this on Missouri Western campus. We're happy to get students and the community involved, raise awareness for ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, get that awareness out.
For Griffon Update, this is Jasmine Taylor.
Now that is definitely a good cause to run for. If you happen to miss the race, Phi Delta Theta hosts other events throughout the year that also raise awareness for ALS, so be on the lookout for those events in the future. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Griffon Update. The Health, Physical Education, and Recreation Department invited senior citizens from across the region to campus this spring.
They were also joined by Griffon students and spent the whole day playing carnival games and activities together. Reporter Heather Gronke has the details.
There you go.
This is just one of the many senior citizens from across Northwest Missouri having a blast at this year's Golden Age Games. The Golden Age Games is an event specially designed for seniors residing in long-term care facilities where they get to compete in and enjoy carnival and Olympic-style games. There are many games to choose from, like bowling, beanbag toss, basketball, and so many more.
You did great. Oh, 2 for 2.
Here, you got, I'll give you one more. Oh! Good job, good job, good job. Here, you can get whatever prize you like. This one next.
What? Woo! Yeah. Let's try it again.
This Golden Age Games in particular is awesome because with Missouri Western co-sponsoring this for us every year, we kind of bridge the generational gap here because the college students are always so amazed at the competitiveness of these seniors, even at the age of 100 or older. We have a lady here today that's 106. Students learn from our seniors, and our seniors really appreciate and really love the interaction with the college kids.
There was even a volleyball tournament amongst the different facilities. For some, the Golden Age Games is something they prepare for months in advance.
We practice 6 months out of the year.
Trust you.
We're here to support our residents. You know, a lot of the times they don't get to leave the facility, or the only faces they get to see is staff or, you know, occasional visitor. But other than that, they don't, you know, particularly get to leave and have a good time and get to go out and do fun things like this. So we want to make it worth their while.
After the games, everyone cleared out and went to lunch where they enjoyed some live music and ended with the awards ceremony. This year's Golden Age Games was a blast. So be sure to mark your calendars for April 7th, 2017, because this is something you don't want to miss out on.
Lots of fun, and if you're in our nursing home, you ought to come.
For Griffon Update, this has been Heather Gronke reporting.
It sure looked like everyone had a great time. And speaking of games, Micah, do you know what ball game doesn't get very much attention?
I don't know, cricket?
No, not even close. It's ping pong.
I'm not sure that even qualifies as a ball game.
Well, either way, let's have a look at the 3rd annual Dr. Krieger Parmanian Ping Pong Tournament with reporter Jess Kopp.
Missouri Western's International Student Services hosted the 3rd annual Dr. Kirker Parmanian Ping Pong Tournament. It will connect international students to see the Americans that come and support them, as well as the other side where Americans see international students that we have at Missouri Western. So we just want to, it's just a place for people to connect.
The goal is to raise money for the international program.
And Precor and Cape Bartamian feel very strongly about supporting our international program, so they've been very, very supportive of it, helped us raise a lot of money in 3 years.
Bartamian, a former board member of Western, was the national ping pong champion of Syria in 1960.
I found that out. I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun since he's a former board chair and a really nice patron person. If we had a ping pong tournament in his honor to raise funds for international students.
In the past years, the event raised $1,500 to $4,000. 16 community members and 16 international students signed up for the tournament.
35 students, people that come to play. And then we have a few more that observe.
The tournament received support from different departments in student affairs.
We work with many offices, like the foundation office, the rec center, also with, of course, the ISS office and the student affairs office. And everybody's been very helpful.
The highlight of the tournament was a match between Vardabidian and Bartamian.
Rely on instincts and public humiliation to get through this.
Although Bartamian ultimately won, Vardabidian didn't go down without a fight. Bartamian said he didn't even have to practice prior to the tournament.
Last time I played was 6 months ago.
After the match, Vardabidian awarded Bartamian with a plaque to honor the fellow Armenian's efforts for the university. This was Jess Kopp for Griffon Update.
Dr. Vardabidian didn't look bad out there.
No, in fact, he had some pretty good form.
The fun at Western continued this spring when MTV2's hit improv show, Wild 'N Out, made a stop here during their university tour. Reporter Trez Colbert attended the show to get us the story.
America's Got Talent host and actor, best known for his role in the film Drumline, Nick Cannon, got his Wild 'N Out entourage, and is hosting a college tour all over the country. Their next stop, Missouri Western. Students at Missouri Western and the entire community were pumped to see Wild 'N Out in action. Spots filled up fast for this much anticipated event. If you missed it, don't worry. Here's a glimpse of the show. As you can see, the students and the community had a wonderful time. I look forward to seeing what happens next on the Missouri Western campus. And I'm Cortrez Cole reporting.
Be sure to watch Wild 'N Out on MTV2. You might even see somebody you know in the audience.
Missouri Western prides itself on allowing students to express themselves while on campus.
One way students express themselves is through getting tattoos and piercings, or even nose piercings.
What are you talking about, Brent? Reporter Juna Razuma gave us a glimpse on how tattoos and piercings can affect and sometimes even help your career.
At Missouri Western State University, there are students who would like to show their personality and individuality by receiving tattoos and piercings. Freshman Octavia Riley explains why she received her very first piercing.
With this piercing, I can't flip it inside, so it looked like I don't have a piercing. I actually got it, it was Black Friday. I was back at home in St. Louis, and I was like, I want to get a piercing since I'm scared to get a tattoo.
Sophomore Kelly Smith goes into depth about the placement of her tattoo and how it may not even affect her job choice.
I've always loved drawing hearts on myself, so I decided to finally get it tattooed. I got it placed where I did because it's easy to hide. I can conceal it very easily with a Band-Aid or makeup or bracelets.
I decided to stop people who are walking by and wanted to know what their views were on tattoos.
Tattoos are a form of expression, like you write what you feel, like memory tattoo or something on you. It's just another form of expression.
As a business major, Douglas Deering will know firsthand how it will feel like to have tattoos in the workplace.
My 18th birthday is when I got my very first one, and it was the 3 stars that I got. In today's world, I think it's very normal and common to see people in the workforce with tattoos, so I think it's becoming more and more normal, so I don't think it'll affect.
Student Employment Coordinator in the Career Development Center, Brett McKnight, not only gave his views on tattoos and piercings, but advice on them as well.
Typically, if you have a more corporate setting or traditional employer, I think the perception of tattoos probably still leans towards the negative, or there are certain stereotypes associated with persons that have tattoos. Whereas if you work for a more contemporary workplace, or maybe in an arts setting, such as freelance type work, they may be less particular about tattoos and piercings in the workplace. I would say when you're on the job search, go towards the conservative. Maybe take your piercings out for a job interview if you can. Cover visible tattoos with a cardigan or long sleeve shirts if you need to, and just I think realize when you choose to get a tattoo or a piercing, think ahead. So if it's something that you're thinking in the moment when doing, the best advice there is to think ahead of, possible consequences of it. Sometimes it's something you're passionate about, and that's understandable, but just, remember that not everyone perceives it the same way you do.
Missouri Western has always prided itself for making each student feel as comfortable as possible. In closing, I would like to quote Ralph Waldo Emerson: "The secret in education lies in respecting the student. Only the educated are free." This is Junior Zuma with Griffon Update.
If you'd like to know more about tattoos and piercings in the workplace, be sure to check out the companion article in the 2015-2016 Griffon Yearbook. We'll be right back after this.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
And welcome back. Along with the growth of the downtown area, St. Joseph's local music scene has been steadily increasing and growing in popularity.
One of the bands at the forefront of the scene is local rock group Scruffy and the Janitors. Reporter Tommy Marshall has the story.
Aggressive tempos, loud guitars, and melodic hooks. All great rock and roll qualities, but for local band Scruffy and the Janitors, it's the essence of everything they do. Scruffy started back in 2012 and consists of bassist and vocalist Stephen Foster, guitarist Tarek Newton, and his brother, drummer Trevin Newton. The band's sound features a mixture of genres layered on a rock music foundation and a do-it-yourself sensibility. There are no cutting corners with these three. What you see and what you hear is what you get.
So, me and Tarek both played in bands all throughout high school. But we just never talked to each other until he graduated, and then for some reason he was like, "Hey, come hang out in my car before you go to school." And I was talking about this new project I had where we played like Nirvana covers and Green Day covers and stuff like that. And he seemed really interested, and I got him in on that band, but that band broke apart because just not a lot of people wanted to travel like we wanted to travel. So then we started this band here, and we got Trevin as a temporary drummer, and ended up sticking with us.
I felt like it really clicked even from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it still does. I mean, there was no hiccups in the process at all. Basically, it was, all right, how fast can we write songs and book a show? We started in February, first shows in March.
Yeah.
So
we need at least 3 originals and 5 covers, and we're going out in a month.
While the band began and is based out of St. Joseph, the trio has traveled extensively to play shows, including South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, Middle of the Map Fest in Kansas City, Missouri, and North by Northeast in Toronto, Canada. They have also played with big names like Glass Animals, Congos, and Radkey. These shows have taken place all the way from the bigger atmosphere of the Midland Theater to the intimate settings of someone's basement.
Our music's very primal and energetic, and I just want people to move. I want people to leave the show covered in sweat and super stoked. I almost want it to be like, it's like a shot of caffeine straight to their brain. Like, I want them to leave the show super stoked.
Yeah.
And sweaty.
Yeah, we definitely feed off the crowd a lot more than we should. But, when the crowd gets rowdy, things start getting a lot more fun.
Like what Steven was just saying, like we really feed off the crowd. Like if the crowd's not into it, it's kind of hard for us, I don't know, to get to that level. It's kind of like you play off the crowd, you know. The crowd sees what you're doing, you see what they're doing, and you judge accordingly.
Like sometimes we'll take songs out if the crowd's not reacting good enough.
Or sometimes we'll throw a song in.
Yeah, our set list is kind of like a living, breathing thing, and just however people react to it, we'll be like, okay, well maybe they'll like this song a little bit better.
Scruffy is a band that lives for the live show, but that doesn't mean they don't enjoy recording too. They have released 2 EPs, 2012's Pinot and 2014's Anglo. They are currently in the studio working on a full-length album. The future is bright for Scruffy and the Janitors, and their name is bound to only get bigger from here. They are one band that you shouldn't pass up. This is Tommy Marshall, reporting.
Thanks again, guys. We are Scruffy and the Janitors. We're gone.
Scruffy and the Janitors' newest EP, Anglo, is now out. Be sure to give it a listen.
So Brent, have you ever taken up acting?
Oh yeah, I have to get into character before every show.
Aren't you playing yourself?
Oh, well, yeah.
In this edition of Artist Spotlight, reporter Christina Wade gets into character with actor Will Corso.
A man on his way to Jericho was set upon.
Will Corso commits fully to every role he takes as an actor.
For me, acting it's a way to express myself. It's more than like a hobby, it's more of like a kind of a passion. It allows me to immerse myself in someone else's shoes, so to speak. For just a brief period of time, I get to be someone else entirely, and it's a really interesting feeling.
Acting means more to Will than just a career choice.
When I was in about second grade, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is, well, if you don't know what it is, it just means I'm not as socially functional as other people. Being able to act in the theater and in film has helped me to overcome that. It's actually helped me with communication skills. It's also helped me just to make friends, and helps me focus on things, and it's allowed me to focus on theater and other things I'm interested in.
Will has taken on a variety of theater roles at Missouri Western. He also takes on film roles, such as cinema student Riley Bayer's thesis film.
He was fantastic to work with on my thesis. I needed to find a lead at a very short notice, and I called him and was like, hey, are you interested in playing this role? I was like, yeah, of course. So comes in day one, knew all of his lines, he developed a character, and not to mention he also has to work with a puppet. So he comes in with a pretty cool voice. And another part of it is, can you ride a hoverboard? Yes, he could. So that was a benefit right there.
Will finds support from his family and girlfriend Kaylee.
The biggest support I've gotten is probably from my family. They've always encouraged me to go into acting. Originally I did it because as kind of an exercise with Asperger's, and then my family and I realized that I actually have a bit of a talent for it, so I just kind of kept going with it. And Kaylee, my girlfriend, has also been a huge support. We actually met through the theater, so she's always been very supportive of me in whatever roles that I do and whatever I'm doing.
Beyond theater and cinema, Will wants to go into voice acting professionally.
Really wants to try and get into the voice acting game. We've been looking at how to kind of do that and where's a good place to start, and we really want to try and save up and get some like good equipment or some decent equipment to start out on that. But I think a lot of it's also going to have to be getting out there and getting known, even just for small things like voiceover work for commercials or radio. Just getting in there kind of helps you, I think, branch out from there.
Voice actors are able to give animated characters so much. They're able to become the character with just their voice, and that's a really, really cool thing to me.
Will keeps his audience at the forefront of every performance.
One of the biggest things I like about acting is watching the audience's reaction. After I'm done with a show, I like being able to go out into the crowd and just hearing what they thought of the show. For me, I'm not acting for myself, I'm acting for the audience. What I'd like to do is be in more villainous roles. I've done a couple of those actually. in some film stuff. They were fun because it's really fun to be able to play a character that's very, very different from who I am.
This is Christina Wade for Griffon Update.
Be sure to watch for Will in the 2016-2017 Missouri Western theater season.
Hey, wasn't that Will Corso on stage in Godspell this spring?
Actually, Brent, yes it was. Will played one of the apostles in Missouri Western's last musical of the season. Here's executive producer Jenny Swope with the full story on the production.
Missouri Western Theater ended the 2015-16 season with another hit Broadway musical. Godspell, with music by famed composer Stephen Schwartz, is an improv-heavy musical about the parables and teachings of Jesus Christ.
The first act is sort of the parables of, it's the book of Matthew. I mean, it's almost directly from the book of Matthew. It's all of the parables. It's the message. And it focuses on Jesus as the Messiah. I think the meaning of that word kind of gets lost a little bit, and because it translates as the messenger, the one who brings the good news. That really is what the first act of the show is about. Is about him basically saying, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we loved one another and just like we're really nice to one another?" And that's really what the show's about.
Godspell's script allows for a great deal of flexibility in its interpretation. For instance, cast members were encouraged to retell the parables in their own way as their own character.
Each of the cast members are pretty much playing themselves versus someone who may have done it in a different production. So that's pretty much how we started, and that's you know, pretty much, it's easier, or I wouldn't say easier, but it's like better to play ourselves, or for them to play themselves while we're telling these stories, and it just brings a lot of character and life to the production.
Though the material has a religious base, conversion is not the show's overall intention.
Is the text scriptured? Yes. Is it from the Bible? Yes, it is. But the overall message is just love and forgiveness. And I think that's the main message, is to just love and remember that everyone is a human and that they experience emotions. It's like, just love everyone, just love them.
Godspell opened in Potter Hall on April 8th and closed on the 16th. For Griffon Update, I'm Jenny Swope.
For more information on upcoming productions, keep watching MWSUTix.com.
Amari Martin is up next with a very exciting one-on-one, but first we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
At Missouri Western, it's on us.
It's on us, all of us, to take responsibility and stop sexual assault.
To create a campus environment where everyone is safe and feels safe.
To realize that ending sexual assault is not an individual endeavor,
but a collective effort.
To understand that it affects not only students, but faculty and staff members alike.
At Missouri Western, we take action.
It's on us to look out for each other and not look the other way.
We step up and say something.
We support survivors. We are going to be a part of the solution and not the problem.
It's on us to intervene and take responsibility.
So take action, because we can and will make a difference.
At Missouri Western,
it's on us
to put an end to sexual assault.
Begin by taking the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to Griffon Update. I'm Amari Martin. On today's sports report, I am focusing on one of the greatest players to ever put on a Missouri Western basketball jersey. She goes by the name of LaQuinta Jefferson. She started off her career here at Missouri Western her junior year, averaging 20 points per game, and was also selected first team in the conference. Now her senior year, she reached her career high of 2,000 points and was also named MIAA Player of the Year. Jefferson is now living up to the name of one of the greatest players to have ever played here at Missouri Western. Check out my one-on-one with LaQuinta Jefferson.
Q is another version of Kobe for the women's basketball team. Stud, aka baller, aka Kobe.
That's Kobe. That's Kobe Bryant. Yeah, she Kobe.
One word, unselfish.
She's just an overall leader. When I think of Q, I think of as a competitor.
She's special. I mean, obviously she's blessed with a ton of God-given ability and talent. She's one of those players that can just do a lot of different things. She's not pigeonholed. She doesn't just shoot the three, or she just doesn't drive. She's got a complete game, and that's why she'll probably go play professionally and make money.
On this segment of One-on-One, I brought in one of the greatest basketball players to ever play here at Missouri Western. Her name is LaQuinta Jefferson. Welcome to the show, Q.
Thank you for having me.
Who inspired you to play basketball growing up?
Well, I actually got a chance to play with my brother for all these years, and he helped me get started with basketball, and what inspired me to keep going was Kobe Bryant.
How was your relationship with your brother?
It's very special because my older sister, she's actually 6 years older than me, so we really didn't get a chance to kind of grow up together. But my brother, he was just right there, and he taught me everything.
Who would you compare your game to? I know you said Kobe Bryant inspired you, so do you feel like your game is close to his?
Yes. I just love that guy, and I believe my pattern, I just tried to do as much as, he showed me from television.
If you played one-on-one against Kobe Bryant, who would win, you think?
He will. Yeah, no
You don't have a chance?
No.
In high school, you were a top prospect scouts were looking at. You had Kentucky looking at you. You had several schools. You committed to Kentucky, and then after JUCO, you were going to go to LSU, but some certain circumstances happened. Can you tell me a little bit about that situation?
Well, coming from high school, I actually didn't have the GPA to get in Kentucky, so that was the reason there. And then after I moved on, I went to junior college, and I had a successful season my sophomore year. LSU, they invited me to their campus, and I really loved it. And when that time came, I actually had personal problems, so I quit for 2 years, and that's how I came here.
How did it feel to be recruited by those schools?
It felt great, and just to know you one of those top prospects, that's good to know too.
Well, all that's behind you. You've had a phenomenal season here at Missouri Western. Tell me a little bit about the relationship you and Coach Edmondson share.
It's wonderful. Like, from day one, he's been so honest, and that's what I love the most about him. And he pushed me to be a better person these 2 years. He have made me an awesome person.
Junior year, you averaged 20 points, and you were also selected first team to now your senior year, gathering up 2,000 career points. Tell me about that experience.
It felt great to come back after 2 years and to do that in a year. That was just awesome right there.
You led your team to nationals, but this isn't the first time. You led your team in nationals in JUCO too, so tell me a little bit about that too.
I just try to work hard and try to win every game, and winning every game leads to greater opportunities, and that's what I tried to do every time I stepped on the court.
You and the team are really close. I see the bond that you guys share on the court and off the court, so tell me about the relationship you share with the girls.
Yeah, it's very special. They're a funny group of girls. It's like we laugh every moment. We have fun as much as we can. It's wonderful being around those people.
What's next for LaQuinta Jefferson? I know your basketball career isn't just over yet.
My dream is to play professional, so I would love to do that for as many years as possible. Hopefully as many as Kobe, but we'll see.
During her time here at Missouri Western, she will be leaving a few memories and even pranks her coaches and teammates will never forget.
We kind of have a long-standing joke going on with each other where we prank each other.
I'm a pretty good actor, and I looked at her sternly and I said, listen, you need to go see Natasha.
She was walking all the way up there and thought, uh-oh, something happened, and he handed her an envelope.
He opened it up and it said, gotcha. And she ran out of there and said, I know who this was. And she ran after Coach E, and she's faster than Coach E. That's pretty easy.
One memory her teammates will always remember is her very first time she got her iPhone.
Q had a old HTC Android phone, and we all had iPhones, and she just made this big thing, oh, when I get my iPhone, I'm gonna FaceTime y'all all day, every day. And I thought she was lying, but no, she does. She does not call us. She FaceTimes us.
Everybody. Although LaQuinta Jefferson's basketball career is over as a Griffon, she will always be remembered as one of the greatest basketball players to ever put on a Missouri Western jersey. Stay tuned for more one-on-ones with Amari Martin. Thanks for watching. For more information on Griffon sports, go to gogriffons.com.
Thanks, Amari. Well, that's our show.
For all of us here at Griffon Update, thank you for watching.
For more news and information about Missouri Western and the surrounding region, tune into Griffon Update on Channel 12.
or catch us on the Griffon Update Vimeo channel and Missouri Western Griffon Media webpage.
For all of us here at Griffon Update, thanks for watching.